I wrote this yesterday and posted it on Substack, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it here on YouTube too, because I want to add my voice to the many voices of resistance in this dystopian hellscape that we're living in right now. I'm going to start posting more content on gardening and living frugally and trying to keep up with the 10 fire hoses of news that we are living with right now. But I'm going to start with this. This is my first video here, and so I'm reading off a page. It may sound a little bit wonky, so bear with me, and I hope you get something out of it. Thanks for being here, and thanks for listening. So this is called The World's Biggest Temper Tantrum. No one has ever been treated more unfairly by the justice system than convicted felon Donald Trump. The poor, sweet summer child was born into a wealthy family that handed him $400 million as he reached adulthood. The self-proclaimed stable genius proceeded to spend away his fortune, starting a series of failed businesses for which he filed bankruptcy 7 times. During his decades of slumlording, discriminating against minorities, calling for innocent men to be executed, stiffing contractors, committing sexual assault, and committing tax fraud on a colossal scale, the American justice system held him to account exactly 0 times. When he reached the world stage and committed an insurrection, a handful of people, including a courageous jury of his peers in New York, made a weak effort to remedy the vast lack of oversight into his affairs. And for that too little too late effort, America is now graced with the biggest temper tantrum the world has ever seen. Simply put, there is nowhere on the planet that is safe from his shit-throwing storm. He is aided and abetted by a small group of white men with a smattering of DEI spice in the form of a brown-skinned woman and a man of Asian descent, whose wealth combined they could not spend on 1,000 lifetimes of eggs. And every single one of them carries a grudge bigger than their megalomania, which is a heavy undertaking. These people have been gifted decades of tax breaks and exemptions. Under the threat of possibly receiving more tax breaks so they can buy 1,000 lifetimes of golden eggs rather than the white pedestrian eggs we peasant folk rely on, they are breaking into the people's house and ransacking it. They want to make sure that even though they wouldn't deign to eat a Waffle House omelet, it's just not fair to them that the wee folk might get this small luxury. How dare we? So afraid are they that the American people might have any sense of safety and security, which would have no impact on their Lux worlds, that they have stolen a country from her people and are stuffing their pockets with our money. So afraid are they that the American people might get some benefit from their tax dollars, like health care and a dignified retirement, that they have to stack the cabinet with unqualified people and possibly plunge us into a quademic. So afraid are they that the U.S. government might feed children and provide housing for seniors, rather than financing their mission to Mars, that they have to starve us to death and make us homeless. Our stolen money is a piggy bank they have decided they earned just for coming from a place of privilege that allowed them to win at the game of wealth. But it's not enough to steal America and bury 330 million people alive. No, they want more. This poor group of maligned millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires want to steal the world and destroy it in the name of becoming cajillionaires. They are lining up to send innocent American troops into Gaza to commit genocide on 1.8 million people. It's a pathetic drop in the bucket compared to the Holocaust, which they don't believe in, but is totally worth aspiring to. Their skyscrapers, private jets, luxury estates, and private islands are not enough. They want a fancy, exclusive private resort built on the bloodied soil of the Gaza Strip, where they can plot the takeover of the remainder of the planet, and then, who knows, the universe, After all, there must be other life-bearing planets out there that they can pillage and plant their flag on. Through a slew of executive orders, none of which convicted felon Donald Trump wrote or understands, the grievances of a few wealthy people are laid bare. They could go quietly to their gated estates, yachts, or islands and comfortably live out their days without a care in the world, but they have decided that the many blessings they have in life are insufficient, and they're mad. They are mad that women are living fulfilling lives. They are mad that people of color, the people who were forced to build this country, have a seat at the big table. They are mad that people with different sexual orientations from them, allegedly, live openly among straight people. And they're mad that people with disabilities have accommodations that make our world more accessible. They cannot imagine any one of us daring to earn more than starvation wages. A bunch of people with no excuse in the world for dissatisfaction are the most angry, vengeful humans on the planet. It's mind-numbing to think of how much time this small cabal of ultra-wealthy people have put into drafting a plan to overthrow the world's longest-running democracy and subjugate her people. It's not just hours, weeks, or months. It is decades of their life they have spent plotting this takeover. Convicted felon Donald Trump's rage at getting slapped on the wrists for hundreds of felonies that would have any other American citizen rotting away the remainder of their days behind bars is pathetic. But the American justice system has been so unfair to him, convicted felon Donald Trump gets to cosplay president. Sadly, I fear the only way to stop this tantrum of titans will be war. Our elected officials do not represent us and have bent the knee to lick the crime-stained boots of the titans. It's going to get way worse before it gets better, if it ever can. We can only hope that the countries around the world remember the horrors of World War II, will step in and unite to stop this. These are weak, cowardly, stupid men with no skills for functioning in the real world. Ruling is mindless and takes no skills. Governing takes brains, nuance, and finesse. Convicted felon Donald Trump has the finesse of explosive diarrhea. I wouldn't trust any one of these billionaires to take care of a fake plant, or to feed a stuffed animal, or even to clip their own damn nails. Their grandiose sense of self-importance is only matched by their utter lack of competence. Ultimately, convicted felon Donald Trump and his band of bullies are cowards, terrified of the word no. It takes very little effort to destroy things. Tearing down a building takes a little planning and a few explosives. Erecting a building takes planning, engineering, procurement, skilled tradesmen, inspectors, and much, much more. Our illustrious group of billionaire demolitionists thinks their ability to wield a stick of dynamite makes them all-powerful. But while it may take some time and effort and get really ugly, Americans are the tacticians who will work together to defuse this poorly crafted bomb. I've said before, and I'll say again, strong men get their day, week, or decade in the sun, but they always fall. Sadly, they will take many of us down before they go. They are only as strong as the fools who have swallowed the Flavor Aid drink and stand behind them in support. But eventually, when the suffering is enough, when the destruction is too terrible to bear, when the desperation becomes a way of life, the support wanes and the powerful force of good removes them. A group of a few people wishing for the suffering of millions is a poor calculation at best. When that day comes, may these temper tantrum fools be exiled to Anthrax Island for a permanent luxury vacation, and may their vast stolen plunder be returned to the surviving American public to lift us up and rebuild what was once a decent nation. And may our money at last be used to push America to be a great nation that lives up to her highest ideals, that the American dream is available to everyone, and that all people are created equal, no matter what color eggs they eat. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.